So Jeremy's blood is not the only red we're gonna see tonight. Let's discuss it on this episode, final episode of Pretty Little Liars Perfectionists after the secrets.
Can keep a secret if one of them is there.
So we finally made it to the finale of the season and I'm super excited. We're literally just gonna hop right into it. So where we left off on last episode, Jeremy was shot by Taylor, and where we pick up is the ambulances have arrived, Dana is questioning liars, and Claire is giving her statements and etc. A little bit more in depth, the liars are telling Dana the tea about how like Jeremy was involved with Caitlyn, and Dana is just asking why, like why is this, why is that, how is he involved? The basis of everything, Caitlyn steps forward with a little tears and she's like, well, Jeremy was my boyfriend, and while I was dating Nolan, he wanted to take care of the problems that I was having. Essentially, in short term. So Dana's like, interesting. And then they're all like, yeah, like why did you try to tear us apart? You actually brought us closer. Jeremy's not in the hospital, but also like in prison hospital. It's weird. Moving on. So we have a lot of things in this episode and that lead up to essentially a new A. So I just want to grind right through it and so we can just really discuss what the finale is about. First, Caitlyn and her mom are having a lot of drama this episode. Her mom, as we know, wants her to leave BHU and go to Georgetown on the East Coast, but Caitlyn is like, no. I finally found my family, like my friends that are my family here. I need to stay. And so her mom basically gives her the ultimatum, come with me or we are disowning you. And Caitlyn's like, my privilege, just kidding. But no, Caitlyn just really wants to stay and prove why like she needs to excel there. And in the end, Caitlyn persuades her mom to let her stay at BHU. So we'll see how this turns out for next season. And the beginning of the episode, everyone's just like, I think it's like almost summer break, and summer break, because now they're talking about the internships and all that stuff. So Dylan is given a second chance after Claire makes her apologies for everything that she pressed upon them, so to speak. She gives Dylan a second chance to stay at the university, but however, Mona is not given the second chance. So Allie and Mona are packing up Mona's apartment, and Mona's like, you should come too, Allie, there's another seat next to me, and Allie's really considering, but I think something's telling her that she needs to stay. And now things get a little bit interesting for Dylan. The liars meet in the quad discussing Caitlyn's ultimatum, and they go up to a food booth and they run into Dylan's high school bully that bullied him for being gay. So now I'm like, this kid is here for a reason, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is. As soon as like they had the conflict with each other, I was just like, oh, he bullied Dylan because the kid was gay. However, that's usually always the case, and it was the case in this situation. Luke, who plays this bully, says he resented Dylan because Dylan was able to come out even though he was forced to be out, and he resented the fact that Dylan could be himself while he himself could not. And he says he doesn't want to leave BHU until he proves to Dylan how he's changed as a person. I don't know how this is going to play in either season 1B, if they decide to renew it for like another 12-ish episodes, or if they want to put that into season 2. I don't really know where that lies. I think it's just to give Dylan more of a storyline. Moving on, so a mysterious person appears in Ava's apartment as she gets home from the quad, and it turns out to be her dad, and she's finally feeling reunited with her dad, but he asks for one thing, and that's for her to get this package that he's having delivered. Sounds a little bit skeptical. Moments later, Dana arrives at Ava's dorm and has some questions. Dana already knows that Ava's dad was there, so she proposes an ultimatum. Essentially, Dana will return the money to her if Ava turns in her dad, because that'll get Dana back in with the FBI, and Ava will have her money since she's broke. But Ava cold-heartedly denies that she doesn't know anything what's going on. But Dana puts one point out that's kind of interesting. She says the portion of money that Ava has isn't even the full amount of money that her dad stole. There's still another half of this lump sum that's missing. And now we start seeing the red I was talking about just a little bit. So there's apparently a secret society called the Crimson Society, and we see 2 invitations, one to Allie and one to Ava. And now apparently the Crimson Society, as said by Caitlyn, helps you financially, socially, in any terms that you need the society, it'll help you. So now Ava gets the message that the package has been delivered, and she immediately rushes off to go get it. Moving on, so the tea has been spilled just a little bit. And I was quite shook. So while Mona was packing up her apartment, Mason shows up and is like, why are you leaving? Like, don't leave, you shouldn't leave. And Mona's like, I have to, like, I was terminated. And Mason's like, you're not leaving, you're not going anywhere, and here's why. Mona shows up at Claire's house and tells her, I'm not leaving my job. And Claire's like, that's not how this works. And Mona brings up how Claire comforted Mason when Nolan died. And I was like, So Claire decides not to terminate Mona. Moving on, so now Ava and her father, part 2. She comes back with the envelope into her apartment and you can tell something ticked her off. She put the dots together that her dad lied to her. It's revealed that Ava transferred all that money back to the respectful clients that her dad stole from, most of which are Zach's parents' clients in their company, or etc. So she did the right thing. So now let's get into the Crimson Society. This is crazy. I'm pretty sure things like this exist in college, but this shows that the list that Mona had in her system is correlative to the Crimson Society. The people that were invited were Allie, Mona, Dylan, Caitlin, and Ava. So all the liars are there, plus 2 empty chairs. This is a lot, and I can't even explain it, so let's just check out the clip on what the hell they just got themselves into.
Could this be Dana still messing with us?
I've been watching you, and it's been informative. But now that you have given me proof that you are guilty of attempted murder and conspiring to cover up the crime, I can take my experiment to the next level. Follow instructions if you want to remain free.
We're not free if you're controlling us.
What experiment?
Who are you?
I'm the person who killed Nolan.
Oh my god.
Jeremy was guilty of many things, but he was not a killer, and I didn't take pleasure in having to become one.
Oh my god. Jeremy didn't kill Nolan.
Like all of you, Jeremy was part of the experiment, part 1. He surveilled you at my instruction to protect Caitlin. He has served his purpose and has been removed from the equation.
What do you mean removed?
Do as you're told.
What do you mean
The
removed?
professor will be watching.
What is the experiment?
That's crazy. That is literally crazy. So they know everything, and now they conspire to cover up a murder. Like, y'all, they screwed. So after the liars go to see Taylor's RV, and as they're walking up to it, the RV blows up. That beacon guard system is done. So, and then the professor, so to speak, basically tells them all that participation in this experiment is mandatory unless they want to go to jail. The liars reconvene in Allison's house, and they all are basically determined that they don't want anyone to see that video and that they're willing to do whatever it takes. So Allie, taking a step forward in that direction, she switches to a psych major under a mysterious Dr. Fielder, who we'll discuss later. She switches to a psych major because she wants to learn how to analyze people's minds and herself, so she can figure out who the professor is and how they're making their moves. So now this is where we start getting into the experiment. The professor orders all of them to admit what they're most afraid of. So starting it off, Allison admits that she's afraid that she's too broken to fix. Caitlin admits that she's afraid that she'll fail not only in school but in life. Dylan admits that he's afraid that he has to go home. Ava admits that she's afraid that she'll become like her father. And Mona says her greatest fear is dying before she figures out who you are, bitch, in reference to the professor. So now this is where Dr. Fielder gets a little bit interesting. At the end of the episode, she's walking out of the building and she says, I just hired Allison De Laurentiis into my department. She doesn't know it yet, but she's in. I think Dr. Fielder is definitely collaborating with Crimson Society. And then at the end, we kind of get a total nostalgic look. We see a tablet and we see all of the liars in the security cameras or the webcams admitting what they're most afraid of. And then Zach serves this professor coffee. So Zach knows this professor and has seen them And this just reminds me of PLL and how I would just shred my brain after watching an episode, and I was just literally taken back to 2010. But yeah, this season honestly was amazing. Super happy about it. I absolutely love and adore this show. I love the characters. I really hope it gets renewed for season 2. And doing this after show has been an amazing 10 weeks, and I thank you guys for watching every single episode. If you have, make sure you go back and review all the previous episodes, or if you missed everything, I put everything in a playlist for your convenience. That might be it for me on this season, this first season of Pretty Little Liars Perfectionists After the Secrets. And that's crazy. That's crazy. It's been a crazy 10 weeks, and I'm looking forward to season 2. So, as always, with the tea that's been spilled today, can you keep this one a secret? Shh. I can't believe that's a fucking wrap. Oh my god.